Thank you for staying with us here on THV 11 Plus for Arkansas News Now. I'm Ashley King with meteorologist Nathan Scott, looking at a little bit of a chill in the air. I went out earlier.
We were spoiled yesterday.
Yes, I did not expect that
clouds
actually.
cleared out, temperatures shot up into the low 60s.
Right.
Today, it is cooler out there.
It is a little chilly. Even though you said that, there was something that just hit me about that cold.
But I mean, this is much better than experiencing 20s for highs, right? Yes, we do have a deck of clouds making their way through the central Arkansas region right now. Here is the visible satellite, and that's playing a factor in how warm we're getting, because where the sun is, Camden, you're at 52, 55 in Texarkana, but you see those clouds diving their way from the north. It's 41 here in Little Rock, 39 though in Clinton, and we are about, say, 11 to as much as 16, 18 degrees cooler than this time yesterday. There's a little bit of a breeze out there, so it adds a little bite to the air. Feels like 32 in Clinton, feels like 33 in Searcy. And today, we're going to see lots of clouds early this afternoon. I think we'll start to break through this cloud cover once we get into about 4 or 5 o'clock time frame. But overall, the temperatures, they're only topping out into the mid-40s. Tonight, we settle back down into the 20s across a large part of the region. But we're going to see warmer air make its way in. I'll let you know how warm it's going to get. If you're a fan of unbelievably warm temperatures, you'll like the 7-day forecast coming up.
Thank you, Nathan. It's now more than 3 days since Savannah Guthrie's mom has been missing from her home in Arizona. Police say they're looking into the authenticity of an apparent ransom note for Nancy Guthrie, originally sent to a local news station. They're also revealing evidence at the scene, including blood, pointing to a possible abduction. Jonathan Vigliotti is in Tucson.
Fingerprints, DNA, camera images, everything you can imagine.
Investigators say they're using every tool to find Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Today Show co-host Savannah Guthrie. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos says the FBI is now analyzing an apparent ransom note.
Is there anything in that note that seems credible at this moment that you're giving weight to?
The entire note.
So you're not dismissing this note at this point?
Absolutely not.
He says he shared the note with the Guthrie family the same night he received it.
Of the thousands of tips that you get, you don't show everything.
Well, no,
to them.
because some of them just don't have any.
This rose to the level.
Sure does. It's more threatening. You guys asked, was there any threats? This was pretty threatening.
According to Nanos, the note contained details about what the 84-year-old was wearing the night of the crime, but would not confirm its authenticity. It was initially sent to a local news station, who forwarded it to authorities and agreed not to report on it. But yesterday, TMZ was also sent a copy.
TMZ comes out with this note that you have known about, that the Guthries have now seen, and it sounds like it could compromise this case to some degree.
It could. I hope not.
The sheriff also says surveillance video from Guthrie's home has led them nowhere so far.
None of the camera images have revealed to us anything of substantive nature. Nothing.
Really?
No.
Anything?
No, it only goes so far back. And so we're giving it to those camera makers and saying, can you do something more with this?
Tuesday, our cameras captured what appears to be a small amount of blood outside the front door of Guthrie's home. A law enforcement source tells CBS News that a little bit of blood was found inside the home. It's unclear whose blood, but authorities say it's being examined, along with other clues.
The Guthries are very distraught, very concerned. What's important is we find Mom and we bring her back home safe.
And the sheriff tells me Savannah Guthrie and her family have not received any specific threats. He is worried about the health of Nancy Guthrie, who requires daily medication, and as we've been reporting, all of it was left behind when she was abducted. Jonathan Vigliotti, CBS News, Tucson, Arizona.
And here in Little Rock, police are trying to track down a man they questioned in a deadly shooting last summer. It's in connection to the death of 22-year-old Leon Gomez. Officers found him shot in the head back in June and say he died at the scene. Investigators later questioned Anderson Fuentes but released him. But today, a bulletin now says Fuentes is wanted for second-degree murder and tampering with evidence. Now to a developing story. The only black-owned credit union in Arkansas is now under federal conservatorship, and the former CEO is fighting back. The National Overseer for Credit Unions pushed control of the People Trust Community Federal Credit Union to a competitor last month. It's a 4-year-old institution started specifically to serve so-called underbanked communities. THV 11's Catherine Rowley breaks down the legal paperwork.
Now that former CEO is Arlo Washington, has gone from barber to banker in just a few short years. His work became a part of a documentary that earned an Academy Award nomination. Now he faces an uphill battle to prove to federal regulators that the problems with the People Trust are not his fault, and they know it.
As of Friday, January the 16th at 3 p.m., People Trust Community Federal Credit Union was placed into conservatorship.
That's Washington in a post on his Facebook page last month. He relays the information he found out from the National Credit Union Administration Board that the People's Trust Community Credit Union is now being ran by someone else.
It is an administrative action, not a reflection of the value of this community or the purpose behind the institution.
But Washington is trying to fight that action. He filed an appeal in federal court. He claims that the problems with his books auditors found last year can be traced to a faulty third-party software that the board was made aware of. But they still made the move without giving him the chance to plead his case. Now he hopes this lawsuit will give them that chance while trying to reassure his former members that their money is still safe.
We are working with the National Credit Union Administration, and we are working with Arkansas Federal Credit Union to protect members, and to help you along the way.
Well, like Mr. Washington said, Arkansas Federal Credit Union has been named as the conservator, meaning People Trust customers for now are members of that credit union with all the protections that the NCUA offers. The feds did make it clear, however, that they saw no signs of fraud, embezzlement, or gross negligence in any of their reports.
Thank you, Catherine. In other news, more than 150 law professors nationwide are pushing back against the University of Arkansas for taking back an offer to make Emily Susky the next dean of its law school. In a letter to university leaders, the professors criticized the decision that came after Susky took part in an amicus brief as part of a U.S. Supreme Court case involving transgender athletes. The letter says the filing only reflected Susky's legal interpretation and that there was no effort to hide it throughout the hiring process. State Senate President pro tempore Bart Hester is among the lawmakers who urged the board to revoke the offer, arguing lawmakers should have a voice in who leads publicly funded law schools.
The University of Arkansas is a land grant institution. There's a supermajority of Arkansans that believe a particular way on things. They need to understand that with who they're hiring.
I think it's important to recognize that people who run a law school have the collective expertise of their entire careers in selecting an appropriate leader, which is not easy to do.
Governor Sanders is backing the university's decision, calling it a common sense move in the best interest of students. President Trump is doubling down on his calls to nationalize elections, specifically citing districts he lost in 2020. He says he wants the federal government to take charge, even though that could violate the Constitution. Nancy Cortez reports from the White House.
After the president floated the idea on a podcast of nationalizing elections, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt attempted to clarify.
What the president was referring to is the SAVE Act, which is a huge common sense piece of legislation that Republicans have supported. It provides very common sense measures for voting in our country, such as voter ID.
But just hours later in the Oval Office, the president appeared to double down on the idea of the federal government taking over elections in some states. He didn't mention voter ID law.
If a state can't run an election, I think the people behind me should do something about it.
Trump then listed a number of Democrat-led cities like Detroit and Atlanta, where he thinks the federal government should step in.
Look at some of the places that horrible corruption on elections, and the federal government should not allow that. The federal government should get involved. These are agents of the federal government to count the votes. If they can't count the votes legally and honestly, then somebody else should take over.
Trump's accusations of widespread voter fraud in places he lost in 2020 have repeatedly been debunked, including in Atlanta, where new body cam video obtained by the Atlanta Journal-Constitution shows FBI agents searching a Fulton County election center last week.
One way or the other, the records are coming with us today.
Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard said Trump personally thanked the agents in a phone call she facilitated after the search. Trump's comments about a federal election takeover have sparked alarm among Democrats.
The notional idea that he will, ask his loyalists to do something inappropriate beyond the Constitution scares the heck out of me.
Even some Republicans gently pushed back.
Everybody understands that the states are in charge of administering the elections.
The Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson backed the president, arguing that he was simply expressing frustration with the integrity of elections around the country. Nancy Cordes, CBS News, the White House.
After the break, we'll see the reunion of a firefighter and the dog he rescued from an icy lake. Welcome back. Today is World Cancer Day. About 1 in 3 people in the U.S. will receive a cancer diagnosis in their lifetime, but more than half of Americans do not get their recommended routine screenings. For women at average risk, the American Cancer Society recommends breast cancer screenings beginning at age 45 and cervical cancer starting at 25 years old. Men at average risk should start screening for prostate cancer at age 50.
We know that earlier detection, earlier intervention can lead to more treatment options and often better outcomes.
For both men and women at average risk, the American Cancer Society recommends screening for colorectal cancer starting at age 45, and current and former smokers should start screening for lung cancer beginning at age 50. To determine your level of risk, talk to your healthcare provider.
Good afternoon, Arkansas meteorologist Nathan Scott. Now that we are in the 4th day of February, let's talk about the snow in the past few years, because of course you remember 2021, we got slammed with a lot of snow. That was pretty much right around Valentine's Day. Over 20 inches of snow at Little Rock was measured, but 2022 was 2.1 and 2023 just a trace. 2024 was just a trace and just over an inch last year. So we do get snow in February, but when we take a look at your 8 to 14 day outlook issued by the Climate Prediction Center, this is certainly not a snow scenario, as temperatures will be well above average. We are right in the bullseye of where the odds are tilting to above average temperatures across the lower Mississippi Valley and also the mid Mississippi Valley. The chance of precipitation, which would be rain most likely, is going to be happening here across parts of Arkansas, Missouri, and also into the Ohio Valley. That's good news because we need rain, but we don't want warm temperatures and then also a storm system, because then we're talking about the chance that severe weather may enter the equation. Next 3 days, 54 on Thursday, partly cloudy after starting off the morning into the upper 20s. Friday, fantastic. Get outside and enjoy it. Highs upper 60s, low 70s. A weak front will swing its way through, knocks the numbers down into the mid 50s to kick off the weekend, but still not too bad. Now, our upper level weather pattern is going to have the jet stream well to the north of us, ridge of high pressure right across the center part of the country, but there's going to be a little disturbance that's going to slide its way through here Tuesday, Wednesday, and it may produce a little bit of rain. That chance is fairly low. It's going into the 13th and 14th that we have to watch out for a more potent system that may bring the chance of maybe some strong storms across parts of the mid and deep south. Here's the long range European. This is for Tuesday. Showing some green on the screen, so small chance there could be a little bit of light rain, and that could continue into Wednesday, Thursday. Right now, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it's about a 20% chance of rain. I think your higher chance of rain starts to move in here for next Friday. This Friday, though, look at your high forecast. Temperatures 80 degrees in Texarkana, close to 80 in Arkadelphia. Even northeast Arkansas will see the numbers climb well into the 60s. Saturday, we drop back down into the 50s. Then Sunday, we could get back up close to 70 once again. Tonight, 28, partly cloudy. Watch out because there could still be some black ice issues as the snow and slush continues to melt. 54 tomorrow, a pleasant winter day, and your 7-day forecast. Once we get past tomorrow morning, we're done with a chance of freezing temperatures. I think this weekend into a large part of next week, as temperatures will be well above average. Your daytime highs into the 60s, potentially into the 70s.
We got you, Bubba.
A dog trapped under frozen waters on one of the coldest days in January.
Paddle back, I got him.
The call came in as a dog in distress.
The dog was pretty cold, so she wasn't moving a whole lot.
When St. Louis firefighter Private Gary Zarbo and his partner arrived, they realized they were not just fighting the clock, they were fighting the freeze. The single-digit temperature so brutal, it forced the crew to pivot to Plan B on this icy lake in O'Fallon Park.
Motor wouldn't start on the boat because it was so cold, so we just grabbed paddles and went to Plan B and paddled out and picked her up. I got him.
Braving the cold temperatures and uncertainty of the ice, this was this firefighter's first rescue mission on the ice in his 12-year career.
We always prepare for the worst. I mean, we put ice suits on, we get ready to go. Come on, big guy.
The rescue, less than a minute, watched close to 9 million times on social media.
I saw the video. I go, that's my dog.
Eddie Simmons Jr.'s dog, Piper, had been missing for 14 days. The retired city police officer desperately searching for her after she escaped out of his North City fence.
This lady right here just wants to run. I was getting ready for work. My phone rings, animal patrol said, hey, we got your dog.
On Monday, Piper and the firefighter met again.
Yeah, whole face full of ice last time I saw you.
Reunited on dry land.
Thanks again, man. I appreciate it. Man, I appreciate it.
The two first responders sharing a bond to serve and now a furry friend.
We're just in the field where you want to help.
Piper, a reminder for this firefighter turned hero of the why behind his uniform.
We deal with so much on this job that some people that you can't ever unsee, that days like today make you feel good about what you do.
Spring sports season is officially here. We get softball games this week. Hear from Razorback head coach Courtney Deifel next in sports. Forget what groundhogs or certain meteorologists may tell you. Spring is basically here already, and we get spring sports this week. Arkansas softball starts the games that count on Friday when they head to South Carolina for the Kickin' Chicken Classic tournament. Over the course of the weekend, they'll take on Virginia, Akron, and Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, I think we're excited to test where we're at. I think that we feel as ready as we can be, at this time. And so now it's just like, okay, how are we going to line it up against another team? What adjustments are we going to need to make? It's going to be warmer here than Myrtle Beach, so that's always neat. But we're ready. This team's ready, and I'm excited to see what they're made of.
Of course, college basketball season still going on as well. In Arkadelphia, OBU men putting together their best season in a decade, led by a defense that sits second in the country in total scoring.
Everybody that step on the court, we all feel like we're the best. So if you want to be the best, you got to go out there and prove you're the best. So that starts with getting stops. So I feel like that helps us overall as a team.
Our guys have really bought in this year, especially defensively. They're really getting after it, kind of helping each other, bringing a lot of energy each and every night, and that's kind of been the difference for us. The offense has been okay. I think we can get a lot better, but basically I think our defense has really been carrying us.
They're back at it Thursday. Meanwhile, Little Rock Trojan women on the road last night at UT Martin, looking to break a 2-game losing streak, and they do just that. The Trojan women winning by 15. Meanwhile, the men also taking on UT Martin last night. Little Rock trailed by 5 with 25 seconds left. Layup there makes it just a 1-possession game. Trojans down by 3. They get the foul. They get the free throw miss they need. So now 10 seconds left. Little Rock down 55-52. They need the 3-pointer to force overtime. They're going to run their action, get Jonathan Lawson in the corner. Shot is no good. Little Rock falls by 3, and both Trojans men's and women's teams back at home to host Lindenwood on Thursday.
Well, for the tens of thousands of people in the Bay Area for Super Bowl 60, the official merch shop is a must visit. Cheerleaders for each team will be at odds this Sunday, but right now they are bonding over style as they peruse the NFL shop at the Super Bowl Experience in San Francisco. While there are tons of unique options for fans of the Seattle Seahawks and New England Patriots, plenty of items feature just the Super Bowl 60 logo in the Bay Area. Great for those without a rooting interest. And for people more focused on the halftime show, Bad Bunny has a full line of merchandise available.
And I think it's a great opportunity for fans to bring a keepsake home that feels unique, ties well into San Francisco, and also helps celebrate the teams reaching the Super Bowl and the event as a whole.
The matchup between the Seahawks and Patriots did catch retailer Fanatics off guard. People ordering jerseys online or looking in stores around the country have complained about availability and quality. Fanatics, an official partner of the NFL, apologized this week and said customers can return any product for a full refund. Yeah, you got to have your gear on if you're going to root for a certain team. You got to have the right outfit, the right.
You better have money in the bank account
stuff
too for all that. I mean, what, Super Bowl tickets are thousands of dollars, and then the merchandise is probably hundreds of dollars.
It adds up.
Crazy how much money is going into this. All right, we are talking about warm numbers. So if you're planning to have the family over, friends over for Super Bowl Sunday, the temperatures into the upper 60s. Fire up the barbecue outside. Yeah. Partly cloudy. We'll have just the coolest number for tomorrow, highs mid-50s. Overall, though, 60s and 70s, and the 60s may be too cool for Tuesday, Wednesday. We may try to climb up into the 70s.
Yeah, with Sunday's weather, you could clear off the deck, the patio after all this winter weather.
Do
you have a TV?
There, right?
Yeah, it'd be pretty nice. Thank you for joining us on Arkansas News Now.